Hey race fans, it's race day top 5 with me, Frank 5. Yes, it is me. I got a haircut this past week. And must I say, it looks good. But what is also good is short track action at the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway where the tempers are high. There's a lot of beating and banging. There are dents on every single car. Except sometimes when you win the race, you may have one dent in a dominant car. And that's what a Ford had today. Number 1, Brad Keselowski dominated from the get-go. He started in the 4th position of the race and literally just rocketed to the front, passing his teammate Joey Logano, and he clobbered the field today. He led over 400 laps. The last driver to win a Martinsville race, leading 400 plus laps, Jeff Gordon, and Keselowski better that today, leading almost, 450 plus laps. I think that was the amount he led. It was just unbelievable dominance today by the 2-car dominating over Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Denny Hamlin. The Penske cars are strong this year, but Brad Keselowski is pretty much carrying the banner for the Penske cars. He's had unbelievable speed the whole time during the race. He never left the top 3 at all. The whole day. He just stayed out in front, and clean air is important here at this track, even though you get stuck back in, it's a short track and there are a lot of cars around you. If still the leader, especially on restarts, it's really crucial to get a big start and be able to pass, just drive away from everybody. And Brad Keselowski did that today. Paul Wolf gave him the right adjustments. His spotter Coleman Presley helped him guide him through the entire traffic, which is an unbelievable performance by the 2 team. They look like strong contenders for the championship this year other than the 18 car. Number 2, and driver recap, Chase Elliott, first top 5 of the year, and it is much, much needed. We only had one top 10 in the first 5 races. We should have had a top 10 in Phoenix, but we got clocked for jumping the start, and then we had a tire cut down towards the end, and we came oh so close last week at Fontana to getting a top 10 to the number 3 car, just being 1 spot short. But today, we were a top 5 car, and for the first time today, and this year, Chase Elliott led laps at Martinsville today. He had not led a single lap in the first 5 races, and we've been struggling for pace, and even during the broadcast, Alan Gustin mentioned the first 5 races, terrible. Not terrible today. We had a chance at the 2 car. We were unbelievably strong. We could keep pace with him, be back about half a second, second half. The lowest we were today was 7th because that's where we started, but then as the green flag, as we started picking up cars one by one, I knew that Chase had a good car, especially after he was the fastest in final practice, and when he got the lead, it felt like we're going to get away with this thing, but unfortunately, we had a little bit of a hiccup on the next to last pit stop of the day when we were a little slow on the left side. But nothing we can't, we have to fix the issues, but it was nothing that we could have done at the time. But nonetheless, a great performance by Chase Elliott, and we got some much-needed points, a great finish, and some momentum going into Texas next week. Number 3, Kyle Busch coming off his big 200th win last week at Fontana and actually won 201 in the truck race on Saturday. Finished 3rd, but that really wasn't indicative of his day. He was a top 10 car, but he wasn't a top 5 car. And I know he has 1 win here, and I know he's dominating the truck series. But Kyle Busch doesn't really do well here in Martinsville because, when he's got cars on his back bumper beating him out of the way, he doesn't perform well. When he's got a clean car and he's, racing around guys, he passes them like that because he's like Lightning McQueen or Speed Racer. But today, especially at this track, you can't really control when there are a lot of cars on your back bumper and racing side by side. He was having duels towards the end with Elliott and Blaney. It was unbelievable, but Kyle Busch is still showing himself other than the 2 car and the 22 car as contenders for the championship this year. Number 4, the 4 Stewart Haas cars had themselves quite a day. Clint Bowyer, the defending winner of this race, I felt like was going to be a strong contender, but unfortunately 2 speeding penalties on back-to-back pit stops cost Clint Bowyer a chance at a top 5 finish. He was able to rebound and get back to the top 10, but I'm sure, his radio was livid when he got those speeding penalties because, Clint Bowyer likes to have a lot of fun on the radio, but also he has a pretty big trash mouth, but that's Clint Bowyer for you. Kevin Harvick really is... Something's not really right with Kevin Harvick this year, people. He's had some good race cars, but he hasn't won yet, and he has not had a winning car with the exception of Las Vegas. I don't know what's going on with Kevin Harvick right now. I know they're going to find the speed. I think they're kind of getting adjusted to the Mustang, unlike the Penske cars. The Penske cars haven't figured out. The Stewart Haas cars, they're top 10 cars, but they're not winning cars yet. They will be eventually, probably in the next few weeks, if not early summer, they will be. But, Kevin Harvick had a good car nonetheless today. Eric Almirola was strong for the majority part of the day. Daniel Suarez got his second top 10 here at Stewart Haas Racing. But another thing the Stewart Haas cars had, they were racing each other a lot today. Like, Harvick and Bowyer were beating each other, and, Harvick was pretty livid about it on the radio. Almirola was pretty livid the way he raced Boyer. Almirola raced over Suarez. There was a lot of action with the Stewart Haas cars today. Hopefully Tony Stewart and Gene Haas aren't mad about them being a little bit too aggressive on each other today. But they are teammates, but they are racing competitors after all. And number 5, short track action, Martinsville. This is the place for a lot of wrecks and everything. We didn't really have a lot of wrecks. We had a couple mechanical failures. The one real incident was William Byron got spun around in the middle of turns 3 and 4, I believe it was. But, I mean, overall, I mean, it was a good race. You have your typical short track action, beating and banging. There were some cars with a lot of dents. I thought it was a good race for the most part. But that's what short track action does. You come to that track and you see a lot of beating and banging and a lot of side-by-side action. That's what you're going to get. So coming up, mile and a half going back to the reduction of 550 horsepower at Texas, and there could be a tweak in qualifying after the embarrassment at Fontana. Could we go back to single car runs like Ryan Newman suggested after Vegas, or what's NASCAR going to do? Time will tell, but we'll find out nonetheless, and hopefully it's a good competitive race at Texas. So subscribe, like, congrats to Keselowski on win number 2 of the season at the Paperclip. Enjoy the week. Until then, see ya.